words of inspiration and love. Oh, how we live and what we say, it's Stampin' Up and it's our way.
Hey everyone, it's Pauline from Stamp with Pauline, and for our Crafted Home kit class this time we are using Reach for the Stars. So I'm going to show you what everybody received in their kits, and these are the cards that they have actually made from it. So those ladies that have got all the supplies sent to them. In it you'll have the Reach for the Stars stamp set and the dies. I've just popped my dies into here. You will have the coordinating designer series paper that also came. You actually got the whole entire suite this time. So what we're going to do with this is I have actually cut out some balloons from the beautiful balloon bundle, so you don't have to worry about that because you actually have already this in your kit. So I am going to cut out 2 balloons out of this designer series paper, and you will have 2 balloons in your kit. You will also have a piece of acetate. You will also have your packet of designer series paper, and you're going to cut this so that it completely covers your base layer of cardstock. So you will have a piece of basic white cardstock. You are going to cut that at 10 1/4 straight in half lengthways. And you will also have in your kit, so you're basically, the designer series paper is actually going to completely cover that size, so you'll need to cut your paper out. You will also have in your kit a piece of basic white that has these from the border dies. I have cut out the basic borders of the cloud, and you will have that piece in your supplies. You will also have this piece of basic white, and this is actually coming from the Colour and Contour die set as well. And what else are you going to need? You're going to need your Memento ink pad, and you're going to stamp an astronaut. So that's my astronaut done. You're also going to need the words, and it says, if I had a star for every time you brighten my day, I'd have an entire galaxy. So you will also need to go with this out of your supplies at home. You'll need your basic black marker, and you'll need that stamp set. You're going to need your bone folder. I've just done that to score my card. You're going to need a pencil and a ruler. You're going to need your snips, and you're going to need your adhesive. And the other thing that you have in your supplies is some of the loose silver sequins, and that is because we are making this into a shaker card. And these are absolutely beautiful bits of very, very soft, fine sequence ready for your shaker card. All right, so let's get started on this. And the first thing we're going to do is actually, you'll need your scalloped edge rectangle piece, and you will also need your pencil and a ruler, and you'll need your scissors or a trimmer. So I have got my Stampin' Up trimmer because we're going to need that, and you'll also need this piece as well. But let's first of all start off with this bit. So the first thing you need to do is take your ruler and your pencil, and you're going around all of the sides where that little perforated dot line is, and we are just marking at 1/2 centimetre, or it will be 1/4 inch. So I want you to go around all of the sides, and then what you're going to do is draw the lines just very, very gently. And I'll do this side, and I need to go to about there. And then just going to come down here to my 1/2 inch line here, and then I know where I'm going. So 1/2 inch all the way around, and what we're going to do is actually cut out the inside panel piece. So just lay that down there, half like so, and then half like that. So finish that line and then join up this. So you'll get the idea as we go around, and then that's just going to neaten up there. I don't need to be too fussy on the edges there because I am going to now bring in my trimmer, but if you want to, you could also do your scissors, and if you're going to use the scissors, you can actually just carefully bend that, cut out a little snippet on the front, and then zoom around, taking out most of the excess, and then just find that a little bit easier. So get all of that out of the way, and then you can, sticking to my desk today, and then what you can do is come back in and neaten up and cut on those lines all the way around, okay? So if you have any pencil marks that haven't quite come off, or you haven't quite reached the edge, just take your eraser and get rid of any little marks that you might have. And then what we're going to do is line up this piece of clouds so that it matches. I want to still see quite a lot of the clouds, but what I'm going to do is take my Stampin' Write marker, and I just want, if I had a star for every time you brightened my day. And then on the inside, I'm going to have, I'd have an entire galaxy. So that's what I'm choosing to do with this one. So all I need to do is make sure I have my words. So if you wish to, grab your pencil. Don't want it too high up or too low. So you can take your pencil and just sort of gently mark on your card there that you just need to have a little area there that you know that you're going to pop your words on. So what I'm going to do here is colour in the back side. So just taking the side of my marker and just colouring in the words. Just do all of that, and then one hot breath, just because the markers aren't as moist and wet as the ink pads. And so now I have where I need my words to go, and I'm just going to stamp like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is glue this on to here like so, and then I am going to want that edge right there, and I'm going to trim away my excess. So I'm just going to grab my two-way, and I'm just going to run a little strip around the edge here to start with, and bring that right to the edge there, like that. Just let that settle for a bit, and then I'm going to come in sideways just on a slight 45-degree angle and cut away the excess that I don't need for any of this part. So again, just a slight little angle under there, just pushing that out of the way like so, and then the same for down the side here, just being careful not to chop off any of my scallops, and it goes on like so. And then we will need our mounting foam strips, and I've got some here. You'll need the acetate as well. And now the designer series paper can get glued straight down onto our base card. So that can go onto there like so. So glue that onto there. And then just leave that just set aside to dry for a bit. And then what you want to do with this piece is we will need to trim ever so slightly around the outer edge of our acetate as well. So I'm going to just make sure that my acetate doesn't come past my scallops on either side there, and then doing the same, just tucking under, getting the acetate out of the way there, and just making sure that I'm over far enough and I haven't gone up to the top too much. Just chop off that excess so it's not in my way, and then straight up the side. Okay, so now I have my area of where I need to glue. So I am just going to run a bead of glue around here, and I am also going to do that and then pop that down on my acetate. Just gonna lift that up carefully. Alright, making sure that I've got all of my pieces on there, nothing's shot over. And then we add on our foam strip. So main thing to remember with the foam strip is that you need to go edge to edge with it, because if you don't, you will actually get a hole and a gap in your sequence will fall out. So make sure you get right up close to it and butt it up. You can even miter the edges if you need to, but you want to just make sure you get as much as you can side by side or on an angle, whatever you need to do for that. Now I am going to add my mounting foam down the bottom, but what I am going to do with it, because I don't need the sequence down behind this part of my card, so I do want this all raised up, but I'm not fussed whether that lines up. What I am going to do is just eyeball a piece, because I will trim it in a second. What I want is, I do want my sequence to sort of sit up a little bit. I don't want it all at the base of my card and then I've got to really sort of shake it around a bit. So I'm just making sure that I've got a gap, no gaps in between here, and that my sequence will be able to be sat in amongst this part. Alright, so what we then do is take some of our sequence, pop that into the center like so, and then I'm going to remove all of the back side of this, and pop that off, and this one, and this one, and that one, and the top one. Alright, so I'm just going to push all of my sequence to the top part of the card, So what I want to do is I still need to have enough room for my astronaut, and I want him to go on here as well, okay? So once I've got my sequence just moved over ever so slightly, I'm going to position my shaker part down here, and that then gives us our sequence. And then what I'm going to do is fussy cut around, oh sorry, I've got my dies, what am I talking about? I will do that, hang on. So you'll also have in your supplies just a strip of white twine. And now I've got this piece down here, and I've got my astronaut, I've got my 2 balloons. What I'm going to do is grab some dimensionals and get 2 of those, and I've cut my twine in half. I'm going to pop on securing the twine to the back with a dimensional here, like so. And then with my adhesive, I'm going to want my astronaut sitting somewhere about here. I need him to not go off the edge of the card too much, but I also don't want him too high. So I'm just going to run a bead of glue along here, ready for his legs just to sit just ever so slightly so that he is not going off my card. And then what I'm going to do is secure the balloons, and again making sure that they don't go off the edge of my card. So here is my 2 balloons, and then I'm going to just gently tie together the twine. Give that a little knot in that position there, and then I'm going to grab a mini glue dot and I'm going to add that to that area so that it looks like he is holding 2 little balloons. So let me just grab my, can't find my paper piercer tool at the moment, so I'm just going to have to use the back of the scissors. Let's try that. Alright, so grab hold of a mini glue dot. Just want to sort of secure that, and just peel off that first one and just give that a second over the top. So the main tip with this card, I guess, is probably just waiting for that adhesive to dry on your acetate, because it could take a bit. So there is our card. So that is our first card that we have made. It is a shaker card, a little balloon. And what I'm going to do with the Stampin' Right marker is I'm going to add on the inside of it the rest of the message, which is have an entire galaxy. So if I had a star for every time you brightened my day, I'd have an entire galaxy. And then I'd probably put something like happy birthday or something as well. So that is our first card using the Reach for the Stars Stargazing suite. So I will see you on the next one. Bye.
What we love, what we do makes a difference in me and you. All these years of inspiration.